Welcome to our Sci-Fi Haven channel, YouTube channel. Our site for sci-fi and fantasy, from comics to TVs and movies and much more. And Jay LaValle, and this is Joe Janetz.
How you doing?
So today we're going to be discussing Lucifer, the TV series, which was created in 1989 by Neil Gaiman. First appeared in The Sandman by DC Comics, Vertigo imprint.
Now, you talk about it being a DC product, but as it's become, a television show, none of the credits are given to DC. You don't see the logo.
Yeah. That's maybe some they worked out with. I don't know.
That's kind of a thing that's happening a lot in television shows. You're seeing a lot of remakes of older shows, and you're not seeing credit being given to the past performers and who actually created this.
Yeah. But so on a recap of season 1.
Yeah.
Let's get on to the show. On the recap, season 1 primarily dealt with Lucifer's interactions with Chloe.
Yep.
That's Lucifer is played by Tom Ellis, and Lucifer is Lauren German or
Yep.
German.
Yep.
And it's basically their interactions as they solving murders.
One of the things that I found with season 1 is they create an environment to where you're learning about the characters, the introduction of them, and starting with the first episode, you see development of Lucifer as he's escaped hell and he's decided to take a holiday. He wants to live his life among mortals, and he wants to see what is going on. And for some reason, his draw with LA, once they had the original murder, is the introduction to Chloe, Dan, Espinozo, and Trixie.
Yeah.
And we have, at that point, Maz, she being Lucifer's bodyguard, supposedly, the demon assassin.
Yeah, the demon maze.
Yeah. So, I found that the original plots were all right. They showed a dark Lucifer right off the bat, being a nightclub owner, having the vet, wearing the black. He played the part and he brought it to life. Chloe, her past, being a performer in a movie,
Adult movies.
Yeah, as a child, was something that she had to outlive. Now, it was referenced several times.
Oh yeah.
Through, I'd say about up to season 6, where
You mean episode 6?
Episode 6. Yeah, excuse me. They continue to reference her past in building a story with Trixie being the child from her, and Dan Espinozo, which happens to be a partner and a crooked cop in some sense, because he had done some shady dealings, and his partner was referenced for about 3 or 4 different episodes.
Yep.
And that would be when they brought Carver Cruz. Yeah, Carver Cruz. And he was brought in, I believe, to be... No, it wasn't Carver Cruz. It was Malcolm Graham.
Okay.
And he was referenced, and he was the backstory. He died, and he was brought back to life by Menegill, who we meet about, I don't know, the 4th episode.
You mean Mendel? He was actually, I thought he was in the first episode.
I don't know. I don't recall. It's been so long since
Yeah.
I've seen that. But he was brought back to life immediately by Menadil because he wanted to use him to kill Lucifer so everything would be right again.
Yeah.
So, back to you.
That pretty much wraps up the main plots of the season 1.
Right, but you know the one thing we've got to talk about is season 1 on any show is a character development. You've got to see who's who, and you've got to get to figure out who the regular characters are, the main characters that aren't the people on the side who can't be killed.
Yep.
And thrown away. So, for a long time, I was kind of hoping Dan would disappear.
Well, another thing with season 1, you mentioned about a minute ago, he first appears that I think it was episode 1, trying to get Lucifer to go back to hell.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's why after he finds out that Lucifer is becoming vulnerable, that's why he resurrected that character.
Yep.
And who's trying to kill Lucifer, then actually double-crossed him in the deal.
Yes. And what you see is a very dark, portrayal of Lucifer. He doesn't care about other people, but once he gets near Chloe, he finds out how vulnerable he is,
Yeah.
and he, for some reason, enjoys it and likes it.
Yeah.
Maybe it makes him feel more human. Maybe it shows that he does have vulnerability. But when he's out of sight and out of range of her, he's just as dangerous as he ever was.
Yeah. Because it started off season 1, he was more out for his own pleasures.
Yep.
Like when he got pulled over by a cop, he used his powers to actually bribe the cop.
Yep. Yep. And his catch line, what is it that you desire?
Yep.
It became a tag that continued through the rest of the series. And it's something that he could utilize. Now,
On everybody but Chloe.
Right. And again, when Chloe's around, he has no power. And he's intrigued because he wants to see why this is with Chloe and no one else. Yep. But when we move from season 1 to season 2, we see a major change. Now we are seeing more items happening. Lucifer cutting off his wings.
Yep. And like I said, one of the things in season, I think it was season 1, might have been season 2, where we find out that Chloe is actually Amenadiel's daughter.
Right. And it starts to be an issue because now you've got what is the word they use for him? Well, regardless, the items that happen and the dangers that are upon Lucifer now that Chloe's in the picture, as he works with her and tries to catch people that are committing crimes, there is more danger there, and he's feeding off this, and he's becoming more and more involved. But what we're seeing is the lighter side of Lucifer. Season 1 was somewhat dark, and it happened to be with the introduction, but by the time we got to season 2, it became almost fluid. The two working together, they caught the bad guys. There were some issues. A lot of the shows wrapped up in the last few minutes, when the last few minutes could have been used for more character development. Yep. And it showed how much we were willing to watch to get a better story.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that wraps up season 1. Now on to season 2. Now we're dealing with the exiled wife of God, the self-proclaimed goddess of all creation that has escaped from hell, Lucifer and Amenadiel's mother.
Yes, and now we have somebody that wants to go to heaven. She wants to go back.
Yeah.
And she is finding out who she is when she's first introduced. She takes a human body and it was a host.
Yep. And that was Charlotte Richards.